Well, as you can see, guys, we're pretty much up in the mountains, and right now, sitting in Sandia Heights, it's a crisp, cool morning. It's freaking beautiful out here. Driving around the neighborhoods, I can just get a feel that, with all the people walking around, walking their dogs, biking, hiking along all these trails that are up here, that aside from being pretty much out in the wilderness, this area is, pretty peaceful. That's something that you're looking for, and you want to wake up to this beautiful view every day. You're in for a treat. Hang tight. Let's get right into the video. Alrighty, guys, now you're probably wondering, why would anybody want to live this close to the mountains? And for one, just look at it. The beauty, the greenery, everything that you're getting just living up here on this side of town is just going to be amazing. And you're still close enough to the city to where you can feel like you're escaping. Once you get into some of those neighborhoods, and I'll put some B-roll up, that way you guys can get a feel for what the neighborhoods look like. There's no fences, rolling hills, mountain views, city views. And I'm sure that in the evening when you come home from work and you're having a nice drink, because most of the houses here are built to look out over the city, the beautiful sunsets that you're going to get on this side of town are far and gone. Now, if you are planning on living on this side of town, I can tell you that it's just going to feel like you're in a totally different place. Not only that, but if you're an outdoors person, this is going to have everything that you need, from walking trails to parks to, naturescapes, to where if you are artistic or you like to take photos and all that stuff, this is going to be it. Or you just want to enjoy some wildlife, like just right now, a bunny just, ran across the park here. And then yesterday when we were up here kind of scoping out the scene, there were deer right along the side of the road. So, you're going to see all that stuff. It's an abundance of life out here, from greenery to animals to just livelihood. Everybody's walking around the neighborhood, walking their dogs, riding their bikes. You guys are going to enjoy living up here, and I think this next reason is just going to kind of paint that picture for you guys too. Yo guys, I wanted to interrupt the video real quick just to remind you guys that my name is Eli, and I've been helping people move in and out of the New Mexico area, Albuquerque area, Rio Rancho, all these beautiful cities that are around us for the past couple of years. And I've helped over 60 families do this successfully. And I'd like to help you guys out, because as much as I love doing these videos, I love to also help you out with your real estate needs. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to take a screenshot, write it down, do whatever you got to do. That way you can hit me up. That way we can hop on a quick Zoom call and talk about what the next steps are, really map out what your move to places like the Sandia Heights or the Southwest Heights or just the northwest side of Albuquerque looks like. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to reach out. I love to help, but enough for me, guys. And hey, also hit that like and subscribe button before I forget, because we are dropping videos on Tuesday and Thursday talking about what our beautiful city of Albuquerque has to offer. But enough for me, guys. Let's get back into the video. All right, guys. So there's a couple of things you can expect while you're living up here, since it is right off of the main road. People coming into their homes to pretty much residential areas is going to get busy from time to time. Now, not to say that you aren't going to be able to bike, walk, or just enjoy the beautiful neighborhoods that they have up here, but just be aware of that there's always going to be cars on the road. They're pretty good about posting signs for the speed limit, and for the majority of the residents here on this side of town follow the rules, believe it or not. But what else you can expect living on this side of town is going to be more of a less of a commercial vibe. Majority of the businesses are sitting on tramway, which is right on the main road, which once you come into the neighborhoods, you're not going to find any stores, any big box areas or anything like that, because it's all parked along tramway. Now, it is more family orientated because of all the beautiful parks, all the beautiful trails and everything that they have on this side of town. So they are attracting a lot more families. But to be honest with you, more established residents have lived on this side of town since I lived here in the past 30 years. So coming to this side of town, you're going to enjoy quiet. You're going to enjoy critters. You're going to enjoy just being in the great outdoors and still having the convenience of the city, which is going to be maybe a 15-minute drive from your house to the Albertsons, which is down the street on tramway. Or if you're trying to go to the Trader Joe's, you're going to look about 15 to 20 minutes, which is on this side of town. They're lucky enough to have that. So couple things you can expect when you are moving to this side of town is going to be the open feel, open concept of living as far as neighborhoods go. even though it's still residential and it's very family orientated, there are going to be very few master plan communities on this side of town. And a majority of the homes sit on, I think, a little bit close to about an acre, a little shy of under that. I've seen them go even more, but you can tell that those residents have been here for a minute. So with that being said, if you want to live in the outdoors, still have the convenience of the city, and still have the opportunity to bike, walk, run all along these trails, Sandia Heights might be an option for you guys. Now, sounds kind of bougie, right? I know living on this side of town, it might sound expensive, and to be honest with you, it is, right? The average home price on this side of town is looking around $530,000. Now, that doesn't mean that there's nothing under that. There's currently one home at $400,000, but it's a townhome. So you kind of can take a wild guess of, the style of home that you're paying as far as price range goes. And not only that, up here, really nothing changes as far as like utility costs or anything like that. You may run into septic tanks, propane tanks, and having wells on this side of town just because, believe it or not, it's still kind of rural. You got that rural vibe up on this side of town, and I'm assuming, of course, the closer you get to tramway, the more city amenities you're going to have. But the more tucked in you are into the mountains, you are going to be dealing with those types of utilities. So very low cost. It's not going to cost you a whole lot of money. They do have like the Albertsons and the Trader Joe's on this side of town. So the grocery shopping can tend to be a little bit more expensive, but if you can kind of put two and two together, the average household income on this side of town is about $140,000. So it isn't going to be a thing to them, especially if you are purchasing a $500,000 house. Majority of the grocery shopping is going to be a breeze for you guys, and you won't mind it because the majority of the time, people on this side of town support locals a ton. I don't know what it is, but they like to support locals, and Albertsons and Trader Joe's does a really good job of making sure that they host local vendors and products in their stores. Now, I know if you aren't looking to buy, but you want to move to this side of town and you are looking to rent, the average rent is about $1,400. And what more could you want? Beautiful lavender bush. There's bees all up in here, and gosh, it smells so good. I wish you guys can smell it. But anyhow, this side of town has, according to niche.com, has a A+ rated school district. Now, take that information for what you want, and do what you will with it. But the La Cueva High School District on this side of town, I've talked about it before, but they breed athletes, and they are highly sought out by a lot of major sports teams. There's a couple of stars that came out of that school there. But aside from that, right, because knowledge and being educated is important as collegiate sports, moving to this side of town, you are going to have like the ABQ, Institute of Math and Science, and Next Gen, which are magnet schools. And then they also have early college start schools on this side of town. Very highly educated people on this side of town. Maybe it's the geological or geographic layout of breeding professors and all that stuff, because that's been the big history, is that a lot of college professors have moved to this side of town just because they want to be in the mountains. They just love the getaway. And I can tell that, being a neighbor to a professor might make me want to go to college myself. So, I don't know, but gosh, wish you can smell this. Now, in terms of weather, because you're wondering if you're close to the mountains, you got to experience a little bit of more of the extreme weathers, and that's true. When you're living on this side of town, you are going to get a ton more rain and a ton more snow. I don't imagine that there's a whole lot of wind that comes through here, because it kind of comes through here a little bit, and then it really gushes through the valley of the city. So when you are living on this side of town, keep in mind that you are going to be shoveling a driveway. You are going to be wanting to have a four-wheel drive vehicle, or at least a front-wheel drive vehicle, just so you can get out of your neighborhood, because as rural as it is, I'm assuming that majority of the neighborhoods, unless the residents don't get cleaned out, or they wait until the sun comes out, which is a big part of this neighborhood, because, as you can tell right now, the sun is just shining and it's beautiful. So until that sun comes out, which like it does for majority of the year, most of that snow is just going to get packed onto the ground. Now, experiencing over 300 plus days of sun this area is going to get a majority of it as well, and it's just something that you got to experience for yourself. I mean, take a look, right? I'm just going to pan the camera just a bit just to show you how awesome this looks. Check that out. That is an early morning up here in the Sandia Heights in good fall weather. Oh, well, I might not be sitting on my dinner, or I may not. We don't eat lizards out here in Albuquerque or in Mexico in general. I know some people do, and it's more of a scarce thing, but kudos to you guys. But all jokes aside, guys, this side of town has everything you need as far as amenities goes. On this side of town, they are going to have, upper class fancy restaurants, probably some of the best ones in Albuquerque, to be honest with you, because of the views, right? The county line just, bar none, has one of the best views and some of the best barbecue that you can eat in town. And then if you are not into barbecue, but you do want to have a nice view with a nice upper echelon restaurant, if you ride the tram all the way up, they have what is 10-3, and the best view of Albuquerque, and I highly recommend that you reserve something in later in the evening. That way you can watch the sunset and then watch it go into nightfall and just enjoy the city lights, because living in a penthouse is cool, but eating at the top of the tram or just watching the city lights at night is even better. But if you are just wanting something a little bit more low-key, a little bit more local, Bosey Brothers and the Old Beans Coffee Shop right along Tramway. So whether you're looking for coffee, right, because Old Beans has this nice patio that has actually 2 floors where you can go and enjoy your coffee in the early mornings and watch the sunrise over the mountains. And then the Bosey Brothers just has an awesome menu. They're very limited because they pride themselves on being consistent and making sure that you get the same thing every time and it never changes. They'll have their like seasonal stuff, but they do have their staples on their menu to make sure that the beer and the quality is just bar none. And they also have another location, which we've talked about previously, which is downtown, which is the original location. Aside from, drinks, coffee, and all that stuff, the daily necessities, you are going to have Trader Joe's. One of the only 2 in town is down the street on Paseo. And then you also have like Albertsons and Smith's, which has everything that you need from deodorant, shampoo, to, food and necessities like that. So it just because you got the whole rural vibe and you got all that going on doesn't mean that you're totally going to be disconnected from the city. They do have everything that you need on this side of town, so don't be afraid you're not living in the middle of nowhere and BFC in the country. You're still in the city. So enjoy all of that. They also have, for entertainment-wise, they also have the Sandia Casino, which if you take Tramway all the way down, you are going to find yourself at the Sandia Casino, and they have an awesome casino and a golf course there. Probably one of the most prestigious golf courses in Albuquerque, aside from the country club. And then they also have a lot of open spaces here. They have like the Elena Gallegos and the Sims Park, which is a picnic area, and it's 600 plus acres of open space that you can just roam around with trails all over the place. You do have to pay to get in. It's a very low fee, and they charge you per car. It's about $1 during the week and then $2 on the weekend. Your boy got in for free yesterday, and I'll put up some B-roll over here so you can see how massive this place is. Now, whatever be the reason for you guys to move to Albuquerque, and you're thinking about, hey, how rural can I get with still having all the conveniences, Sandia Heights is going to be that area for you. So if you are thinking about moving down to this area, again, that number popping up on the screen, guys, screenshot it, write it down, do what you got to do. Feel free to just hit me up. That way we can get on a quick Zoom call and talk about all the different steps and all the different areas in Albuquerque that you are thinking about, just to make that transition a lot smoother and a lot easier. But I got to go run and get coffee, guys. Got to go get the Starbucks for the wife and kids. Got to get myself a pumpkin spice latte, because if you guys have been following me for a minute, you guys know how much I love those. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good one. Catch you later. Peace.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray.